Welcome into Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan Lugo. Thank you so much for tuning in here on Tuesday, August 13th. Some very exciting breaking news for y'all. Arik Armstead activated from the active/PUP list. We're going to talk about what it means here for your Jacksonville Jaguars today. Really appreciate y'all being here. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear like the hat I'm wearing right now. Become a channel member here on YouTube. Shout out to everyone who tunes in, all our channel members, everybody who comes and says hello at training camp, wherever it may be. I appreciate every single one of you, but let's get into this news. Arik Armstead activated from the active/PUP list. We're going to talk about it right now. So the word activated is a little bit of a misnomer because technically he was already on the active 90-man roster. It's not like activating him is going to cause the Jaguars to have to move someone off the roster, release someone, anything like that. So Arik Armstead was already part of the 90-man roster, right? But he's now been activated from the active/PUP list, which means he can return to practice and that he will return to practice basically immediately. He certainly will be limited to get things going, but Arik Armstead is returning to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, you say returning, he hasn't really ever taken a snap for the Jaguars. He signed with the team this offseason. The 49ers had asked him to take a major pay decrease, and Armstead said, no thanks. So they ended up releasing him, and he hit the open market. Kind of surprised a lot of people, including myself. Surprised the Jaguars a little bit, I think. But Trent Baalke, who drafted Arik Armstead, and to his credit, Trent Baalke's credit, maintained a good relationship with Arik Armstead. Armstead was happy to be able to sign with Baalke and happy that the Jaguars had interest in bringing him in and paying him a pretty penny. Obviously, not one of the highest paid interior defensive linemen in the league at this point in his career, but still a high-priced free agent to be sure, and someone who the Jaguars are expecting a lot from over the next couple years. And even though he's over the age of 30, he was still playing unbelievable football down the stretch for the 49ers last year, creating pressure, especially on the interior, getting sacks, making big plays and big moments for them in the playoffs the last couple years. So this is huge for the Jaguars. Again, was already on the 90-man roster, so nobody's going to have to get cut. Will return to practice pretty much immediately, in my opinion. That's not confirmed, but usually when you see someone activated from the active/PUP, you're going to see them start to practice in a limited fashion. When will he play? Great question. When will he play? According to Doug Peterson met with the media yesterday. According to Doug Peterson, there's a chance he'll play in the preseason finale. That's what he said. He was asked about Arik Armstead yesterday, did not mention anything about him being activated from the PUP this week, but did say probably Atlanta. And Atlanta is the final preseason game, so maybe you'll see him get some reps in that game. For me personally, do I need to see reps of Arik Armstead in the preseason? Not really, but I do get why you would want to go out there and get some reps. It's been a while since he stepped foot on the football field. His last game was in February in the Super Bowl. So I get why you want to get some reps against some opponents that aren't your teammates, some live reps before the regular season starts. So if he can go out there and get any reps against Atlanta, that's great. That's progress. This is progress. This represents a nice step in the right direction. And the Jaguars, at least Doug Peterson, he did expect Arik Armstead to be back earlier than he is now. In June, Doug Peterson told the media that he expected Armstead to be a full go for the start of training camp. That obviously hasn't happened, but I don't think there's any reason to rush a player of this magnitude, a player that you brought in for leadership, for certainly juice as a pass rusher, interior pass rusher to help out Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen and the rest of this group to be able to just generate more penetration, more pressure against opposing quarterbacks, against opposing offenses, make their lives more difficult. And he's the type of player who has the versatility to line up on the interior as like a 3-tech and get into the backfield, use his size, his athleticism, his length. And then also he has the strength and physicality to certainly line up as a defensive end and play the run for you from that spot as well. So I think you can see a lot of fun, different looks for the Jaguars defensive front this year. Arik Armstead returning to the field, or getting on the field for the first time now, assuming it'll happen this week. Again, it hasn't been confirmed, but usually, again, when a player is activated from the active PUP, they start to practice in a limited fashion. And again, according to Doug Peterson, he probably will potentially play against the Atlanta Falcons in preseason week 3. And what does his presence mean for the team? We just kind of went over it. I think that he's going to bring tremendous leadership, which he already has been bringing the leadership. He's out there on the practice field every day. He's just not able to participate in practice until now. But he's been out there coaching the guys up, really providing his wisdom and leadership and experience, helping these guys out. And now he's able to do that and go out there and kick some offensive line butt, get into the backfield and pressure the quarterback and help the Jaguars win football games. I've said this, since this kind of injury situation started going on, and this isn't a new injury. It's, just recovering from off-season knee surgery, and his off-season started later than a lot of guys' off-seasons because he was playing in the Super Bowl and playing really well down the stretch in the playoffs for the 49ers. Now, this is a player who very durable throughout his career, but the last couple seasons he has missed some time. The good thing is, and what I think the Jaguars should be aiming for, is that he has been healthy for the playoffs, healthy for the stretch run, and he's been damn good in the playoffs for the 49ers. And I think the Jaguars should want him to be at his very best in December into January, and hopefully for a nice run in the playoffs, versus making sure that he's full go 100% for September 8th against the Dolphins. And of course, you would love to have him play the whole season. And you've seen guys, like, injuries can be very fluky, right? Even with older players like Brandon Sheriff, he hadn't completed a full season in a long time before he came to Jacksonville. And in Jax, he's played, almost every football game, if not every football game, despite battling through some injuries. So just because Arik Armstead has missed time the last couple of years doesn't mean he's going to miss time in 2024 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But it is, he's a guy that you want to be good to go down the stretch. That's going to be the most important part of it for Arik Armstead, is making sure that he can help you win important football games. Too many players were injured for the Jaguars last year in December, and quarterback being chief among them. Trevor Lawrence battling through a bunch of injuries. They think they have a better situation at backup quarterback now this year. But I think Arik Armstead is just going to be such a stabilizing presence for that defensive front, along with Josh Hines-Allen, who showed to be, an all-pro level player last year. Trayvon Walker trying to take steps forward. You've got your young guys, Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, who have been doing some nice things. You've got some other depth players doing nice things on the interior. Travis Gibson, and Rasheem Green and Breland Speaks and Miles Cole and some of these other guys competing on the edge behind Walker and Josh Hines-Allen. And so I think there's a chance for this defensive front, coached by one of the better defensive line gurus, defensive line coaches, now the Jaguars defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, has a chance to be excellent. And I think the linebackers behind them, same thing. I think that the secondary could be very good if they're able to stay healthy and establish some depth. So I'm fired up about Arik Armstead returning. This is going to be a huge development for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Would love to know what you think about the return of Arik Armstead. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.